Hey, this is Andy Jenkins with the Oily App Plus podcast. I'm actually here with Johnny Williams. We are in my house, not my tiny house, but my office, like my actual office in my real house. I just did all this renovation. Anyway, I'll show it to you on my Instagram story sometime. Oily App, let me tell you about it really quickly. It is a smartphone app. You can get it in any of your app stores. Like if you're on iOS, you can get it there. If you got an Android, you can get it there. It is like having a desk reference on your phone, just a one-time fee that does everything that a book does and more. So let me explain some of that to you. So like a book, it gives you information, sometimes pictures, descriptions of products. We have all of that, but if new products go into the Young Living arsenal of inventory, which happens every single year, you got to update your book. Your book is suddenly out of date. Oily App never goes out of date because we just add new products to the app. It is Young Living compliant. All of that stuff goes through corporate. It is screened, looked at it, checked a billion gajillion times. There are stock notifications that tie straight to Young Living's computer. So you know how it is. They release something, and then by the time you finally figure out they released it or it had been out of stock, by the time your favorite's back in, it's gone. Well, you will never have that problem again because, well, I won't say that. You'll never have the problem of you didn't know it went back in stock again because you can just turn on the push notifications, and when stuff goes in and out, it'll absolutely let you know. We do other great things on there. Monthly giveaways. There are videos on there that explain all of the products. Books can't do that. A book, you can read it, but you can't have a video of Dr. Jim Bob explaining it to you. All of that one-time fee, go to your smartphone app store right now. And I mean, shoot, like you can get it like while you're listening. So, I mean, there it is. All right. Let's talk about another aspect of fitness. And this one is one, I promise you, this one's going to help your emotional health, your relational health. It's going to help your mental health. And it's another area that typically we don't think of when it comes to fitness. This one is the idea of, I can't even believe we're going to bring this one up, but like it makes so much sense now that you say it. Okay, it's the idea of scheduling, of using a calendar, of using a day timer, of writing things down. And I'm even going to say it's probably even better if you write it down. Not using a iCalendar. I mean, I've got one. I'm looking at one like on my computer, like right now. It's right there. But I've got like, I'm just going to pull it out like just to show people that I got
like 3 computers in here, big dog.
No, that's like a computer, a screen, and an iPad. Listen to that. That's real paper. Yeah, that's paper. That's how I plan it. I've got highlighters in there. You can look at that.
You got any fitness plans going on in there?
Yeah. Like, so I've got green right there is, that's something like that's related to financial. That's like, hey, pay this bill or, balance the checkbook during this time. I've got orange is like that's the color of another project I've got going. If it's blue, that's Oily App. If it's dark blue, that's like what's going on. Like there's a Zoom call I had with some veterans about the whole PTSD project. If it is, I've got fitness stuff. I write it in every day. It's blocked off in the mornings, like when I'm going to do that. I've even got, well, it's not on this one because this one taps out in 3 months. It's 3-month planner. But I'm training up to do like a double century ride again. There's a fundraiser coming up. So I've got to get back on the bike and integrate some other kinds of training. So all different colors. This purple one's like stuff with the kids. Paper.
Nice, man.
Yeah. What you use one of those?
No. But you've put me on to a lot of cool stuff, man. When you told me to set a timer on my phone.
Oh yeah, go back to that story.
To wind down and get ready for bed. It has literally helped me more than you could ever imagine. because not only do I start to wind down, I start to wind the other people down.
You go assist your wife. Well, you get like a certain, if you get a certain music on there,
I get
like
a ding.
As soon as little man hears the certain sound, he's gonna be like, "Oh, it's
time to go night night."
Oh.
So it has definitely helped me, man.
It's like Pavlov's
especially
dog.
having to get up at 5 a.m. to work out. Having that alarm, start to wind me down. I get 45 minutes of wind down time. So if I want to spend more time with Price, if I want to read a book to him, if I want to do anything like that, I can crunch that all in at that time, and then,
Well, like that's important to say, because a lot of times people assume that one of the biggest kickbacks I get, like when we're talking about like calendaring and scheduling stuff, is it's the same kickback that comes when you talk about creating a budget or some kind of spending plan. Is people go, well, I don't want to be chained and restrained, and I'm like, well, right now, if you don't have that, you're chained and restrained to just flying by the seat of your pants, and your time just zapping away. I mean, the time's going to pass.
It's going to go.
Whether or not you tell it what to do. And so you get to create what it is. If you want to wind down Price and put him in bed in 5 minutes, you can set that timer for 5 minutes.
Right.
If it's important for you to read a book, I mean, at some point, he's going to want to go to bed in 5 minutes. He ain't going to want this 45-minute protracted, drawn-out stuff with you, right? Yeah. I mean, in fact, at some point, that would actually be unhealthy if it takes 45 minutes for you to put teenage Price down to bed. But, you can, for lack of a better term, you can budget that time however you want. And so if you want that time to be like a 45-minute wind down, read a book, he needs a bath, whatever, like you get to decide and then you get to do it. And I think that's where a lot of people miss this. The timing is for freedom, and then you're more free in the morning to work out rather than sludging out of bed.
Right. I mean, like I said, that has been probably one of the best things I've gotten from this whole thing, man. It has really, really helped me because, sleep is big to me. So, I like my sleep, and Price likes his sleep too. So
I'm sure Mama likes Price having his sleep.
I'll tell you a funny story about Price. So,
and I'm sure we're gonna come back to this. I'm sure you and Mama like Price being in bed at a certain time more, because that opens up opportunity for other things.
Spend time with
wife. I'm not even making it a sexual comment, but sexual stuff can happen more when there actually is time where you're in the same room.
Right.
And you need to be in the same room a lot of times when that stuff isn't even on the table. But you got to get the little ones out of the way for that to even happen.
To have that one-on-one time.
Sometimes
you have conversations about the day. She works long hours some days, and so it does help for him to start that wind down time, and we can kind of spend time together. So for sure, I like I said, man, that's been one of the best things that you've said on in your podcast, man.
Setting an alarm.
Setting an alarm. The most simple thing, but it has saved me a lot of time on different projects. It has saved me time on my sleep. Saved me time on, actually giving me more time with Price. Makes me put down my other stuff and say, oh, it's time to, really, really tune in on him, So I thank you for that, man. That's been one of the best things.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. That's kind of surprising that it was like that revolutionary.
Yeah, it was life changing.
Well, but it goes back to one of those things. Like you got that smartphone. People have got it attached to the hip. Instead of like letting it be something that's a ball and chain that you drag around, you can actually turn that thing into a tool.
Right.
Just because you have it doesn't mean like you got to be on it all the time. I mean, you got to be disciplined to stay off of some of the apps.
And mine's an
that,
iPhone 7 Plus, so I know the iPhone, whatever.
That's just basically one step over a flip phone. That's like,
I know.
Is that even color?
This thing is like been through a lot, man. It's broken screen. It's been replaced twice.
The screen?
Yeah.
Get Chase Harrison to replace that screen for you. Just send that over. Like you live right down the street from him. Get the man to. So. Yeah, you can use that thing as a tool. I mean, one of the things I do in my calendars, a lot of times I've got a lot of different projects going on, so I will set up my calendar like on these little block times.
Yeah.
So, I basically know that every Monday morning from I'll kind of paint it out and we can tell people what it is. So like every Monday morning from 9 a.m. until noon. And sometimes it takes less time, but this time is dedicated to that. I will get in and time up, set up all the emails that I'm going to do for Oily App for that whole week.
Yeah.
Now, next week, I'm going to be out of town. And so this past week, I worked ahead, but I did it during that block. It wasn't sweating it, and the block is big enough to give me that flexibility to do that stuff. I know, for instance, that every Wednesday morning, there's another project that I've got on, and I will, that morning belongs to that project. Every Tuesday, there's a whole block that I do with a veterans project with Crosswinds. That's the foundation where we've written the PTSD books. We've done some PTSD documentaries. There's some live Zoom groups. I've done live classes, but with COVID and everything, we pushed it all online. Like, there's a whole block of time that all of those things happen in there. And I've kind of learned that usually I get it done and I have some margin left because I don't schedule every single second. But I've learned is as long as I'm sitting at the desk and working diligently, at the end of the block, if I don't get it all done, I don't sweat it. I still feel like as long as I'm consistently moving the ball down the field, I feel like, okay, at some point that ball's going to go across the goal line.
Yeah. I do similar things with my IG posts. So I'm a content creator. So
we got to tell everybody what IG is.
Instagram.
Well, that's why I'm doing all that, because that's got content going out for all those. But yeah, go ahead.
So for my content, sometimes if I know my next week is going to be crazy, I'll shoot ahead of time, or I'll shoot the week before and post the next week, or I'll shoot twice. that week, just to have something to post.
Yeah.
Like this week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I probably posted more about my family than fitness itself. Because it's not just, for me, it's not just a fitness page. It's a me page. It's about my life and being transparent with people and not only giving them information about fitness and essential oils, but showing them that family's not only everything. It's it's the best thing for me. I love my family, and I love celebrating them. I love being celebrated by them. In our house, we don't tolerate each other, so celebrating them is one of the biggest joys of my life. So putting that on my IG. Another thing, man, with hydration. I have a big canister, and you can put times, and I know this is probably an old trick, but putting times on when you should drink your water. If you're going to, and I know they have the jugs now where you can buy it like that now. So you can go on Amazon and buy a time.
A jug with the timer?
Yeah, buy a jug with the timer, and you can do the same thing for your food intake. Hey, it's time for me to take in my snack, or it's time to take in my my first meal of the day, or my third meal, or
well, I imagine some of that's would actually help some people, because mentally it sets the task in that area.
Right.
The stuff that I'm writing on whatever. I'm not even worried about right now we're recording this podcast. I'm not going to touch it for really 2 weeks from now.
Right.
Because I already know when the next slot is that I'm working on Oily App stuff, and that's where it is. And so I'll write it into that slot, so I don't even have to think about it. I just look at my calendar and I look to that block, write it in. I can forget about it.
Right.
It's all floated. I'm not worried about it's riding over my head. It's got its space. And imagine if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to gain weight, whatever. If you've slotted the meal,
right,
it's already decided.
It's already decided.
So you're not sweating it. You're not I gotta eat, or when do I get to eat?
You already know. Your body should
already
know.
Yeah.
And once your body adapts to it, your body should know. Same thing with sleep. But as far as your fitness schedule goes, I work out five days a week. In the morning most times, 5 a.m. or if I'm having if I know I'm going to have to get up early to send out reports or anything like that, I'll do my workouts after work, which is horrendous. I do not like working out after work.
I don't like it either.
It's not fun because you've already used all your endorphins and all the, you've already been through a stressful thing.
It kind of wakes me up, gets me ready for the day.
Yeah, so I like to do my workouts in the morning, but if I do them at night, I probably do once or twice a month at night. I try not to work out at night because the gym's packed. It's like a madhouse trying to get through and get your workout in on the time that you want to get it in.
Right.
So, especially if you're going to film or take photos like I do.
Yeah.
Having people in your shots and
they're always walking in front of you, photo bombing you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You saw this big camera sitting down there. But anyway, scheduling your workouts. When are you going to be doing your? I don't call them leg days. I don't call them leg days and upper body days or whatever. They're workouts. So when are you going to be doing your workouts? What are you going to be targeting that day? Scheduling those things. Make sure you're hitting every body part that you can hit within your workout. So, making sure you have a workout plan. Don't just go in there unless you really know what you're doing. Don't go into the weight room or the gym, or if you're going to a gym like F45, like you mentioned, that may be one that you can just go in and work out.
But that's the trick. Most people that really do know what they're doing, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I still do what somebody else tells me to do.
And it may take you longer.
I don't want to spend the mental energy on it.
Yeah, it may take you longer to get through your workout because, what do I do next?
Yeah, it's already somebody that's paid to do that, that's already decided it. Like in other days, it's like plugging in that stuff.
Should I do 3? Should I do 3 sets instead of 4 sets? Should I do, have your stuff planned. If you need help, reach out to somebody. I train. I do, I have workout plans for people to use.
Yeah, we're going to put the links in there in the show notes so people can get in touch with you about that stuff, to schedule, calendar, that stuff.
But have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, it's just a wish. And wishes pretty much just don't come true nowadays. So
No, not in 2020.
They just do not come true. So,
I think that's the big issue with the time is it's like the money. Most, if you don't tell the money what to do, it's going to go.
Yeah.
Right? And same things with time. Time even more so. Because at least I could just put the money in the other room and walk in the other room and it would just sit there and not do anything. But the time, the seconds keep on going. So if you don't tell it where to go or what to do, then it ticks off anyway. And I think a lot of people financially end up overspending.
Right.
Because they don't have a budget. They don't realize they're spending that much. I think a lot of people overcommit time-wise because they don't take the discipline to actually write it down, block it off, be realistic about what's this going to take. And so I think a lot of people are stressed out because they're trying to fit more stuff in a day than will actually fit in the day. Even on a perfect day, you had 27 hours of stuff. It wouldn't. There's no way. So writing it down actually helps you.
That causes more stress.
And then you're short. You get outbursts. It affects your mental health. It affects your emotional
stability. Throws off your next day. Having a plan, having a schedule put in place is something vital that will definitely help you. That will be another accountability partner for you. All
right, and there's this cool thing I'll tell people. We'll put a link down in the show notes too about this. There is 2 options. There's an Oily App Planner. Gladys and Jocelyn put it together. Now, they're Young Living business builders, so they made that to integrate business with life. It really is a planner where you manage your business and you manage all of your life. That's there. We've also got a new one that's coming out that it's for guys. It's from some of those concepts that we wrote at the Advance, put together, that really helps you manage some of those tools. Now, we've got a book and an online class and all that. And if you look, there'll be some stuff coming out first of the year, literally on January 1, that are going to be tools that are going to help people calendar this stuff, to really kind of budget, dictate the time.
Awesome.
I see a lot of people that, and I've done this, complain about stuff not getting done, complain about not reaching their potential, complain about not fulfilling their dreams, complain about I didn't get this resolution completed, I failed, and that puts a lot of weight on people. The reality is a lot of that stuff people have the skill and the ability to do. They just don't have a time dedicated, slotted to do it. And in the absence of that, the time just ticks away.
Right.
Anything else you want to add to any of that about this whole calendaring, scheduling?
No, man. I mean, we've pretty much touched on everything that I can think of as far as planning and scheduling. But like I said, scheduling is going to be your second best accountability.
Second best. It's going to leave a lot of
your
stress.
best. Yeah, it's at the top of the list. You have to have a plan.
I don't know if it's at the top or not. I know somewhere up there. I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3, or if there's several of them that are up there. But it's definitely like you gotta take control of this one. All right, so the time thing you get to decide. It's your time, your schedule. You get to determine what it is, where it is, when it is, how it is. The calendar, the schedule is a budget, a spending plan for really arguably the most valuable asset that you have. Your time. You can always make more money. You can't go back and get lost time, right?
Right.
Solve this one. All right. Links in the show notes. Talk to you guys next week.